Well, I just finished cutting the yard today, as you can see, right? It's kind of hot out here, but I cut it a little afternoon, this afternoon, right before the evening storms come in. And this is why I showed the video about cleaning the gutters, right? That heavy rain pour downs can back up and cause gutter damage and roof damage, gutter damage, all right? So let's take a look, go back here, and that's Big Red, the lawnmower. Craftsman my wife bought me because we're on about a half acre here, and she didn't want me out there pushing the lawnmower. All right. So let's go back to my backyard studio, okay? And so I'm going to sit back here and give you guys a brief rundown on my perspective on the Teddy Bridgewater situation and just sports in general. It's going to be a great year. Football's coming in the season, and it's going to be a heck of a 2025-26 football season this year. So let's get to it, and let me give you my take on the Teddy Bridgewater situation. You can see I got my two guys back here, number 8s, Young and Dallas Cowboy quarterback, Troy Aikman, right? So I wore number 8 in high school, Coral Gables High School. Teddy Bridgewater was coaching at Northwestern last year and turned the program around, and it's all over the internet. I was on IG last night and late, and I saw it as it unfolded, and so I was like, oh, wow, this is crazy, right? Here's a guy that's trying to do the best he can to help these kids, and I had a best friend of mine that coached in Dade County. Matter of fact, he's a historical coach in Dade County. He's won 3 different state titles at 3 different high schools in Dade County, which was unheard of. Now, other schools like Northwest, Carroll City in the day, and Central, they've won multiple championships at that school under a certain coach's reign. But this was a coach that graduated with me, played football with me, got a scholarship, and he became historical, right? Won 3 different high school championships at 3 different schools. Let me see if I can remember which one. Northwestern, Miami Northwestern, Miami Killian, and Southridge, right? If I'm not mistaken, all right? So, nonetheless, let's talk about Teddy Bridgewater thing. Now, first of all, I'm not a football fanatic, and I just realized that, or sports fanatic. I just realized that the word fan actually was short for fanatic. And I'm like, well, that's not me. I'm not a fanatic about football. I love the sport, but I mean, far as teams are concerned, I pretty much followed the athletes out of 305 that went off to major colleges and or professional level. And so those teams I adopted, right? Now, my 2 favorite coaches, obviously, at this point would be Nick Saban, who's no longer coaching, but I hear rumors that he may return, but you know the internet, right? And Coach Prime, right? Coach Prime is a Florida boy, and I support him and been following Colorado football. And this is why there's going to be a great football season for me, is because Shador is now going to be in Cleveland. And when I first went off to school, I went to Kent State, and at one point back in the day, the Cleveland Browns practiced during their fall camps or their summer training camps at Kent State, if I'm not mistaken. And so it's going to be one of those years, right? So I'm going to be following Shador in Cleveland. That has a personal touch for me. And I'm going to be following Coach Prime in the Colorado Buffaloes. And, of course, I always try to peep in on what's happening in Dade County football because it's a powerhouse down there. But Teddy Bridgewater also played for the Panthers up here. I followed him because he was a South Florida boy. Every team he's gone to, that's been my team because I follow players, not actual teams. So I'm not a fanatic in that regard. Now, of course, I am a Dallas Cowboy fan. That goes back, and most people don't understand because I'm from Miami, born and raised. Most people don't understand why that is. It's because back in the day, historically, black athletes, particularly Bob Hayes out of Florida A&M University, was drafted by the Cowboys. And so everybody in my community down there, not everybody, but a lot of people, my friends and associates in Coconut Grove, we were Cowboy fans, right? And so that being the case, I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan, right? Now that's most hated by most people, but we stay loyal. Now, I keep my boots on. Cowboys, I love Westerns, and so I stay connected. I love it. And in San Francisco, young, I was stationed in San Francisco out there with the 49ers. And also, Frank Gore is from our high school. We went to school with his mother, right? And a matter of fact, Coral Gables High is celebrating its 75th anniversary, I guess, coming up in October this year. If I'm not mistaken, I saw something on IG. And they just had a roundup. The last couple of years, they've been doing a roundup out there at the Tropical Park. Right? That's where we used to play our home games, a lot of our games when we played in Dade County in the South End. We'd play at Tropical. We played in the Orange Bowl before it was demolished. And North Dade, Miami-Dade, North Campus Travis Powell Stadium is a lot of where Northwestern plays its games. And you got Central out there. And so we didn't really play then. We played Northwestern our junior year when I wore number 8 in the Orange Bowl. Busta Rhymes, not the not the actual rapper, right? But we had a Busta Rhymes. I think he went to Oklahoma. He was a number 1, 5-star. I don't think we really called him 5 stars back then, but nonetheless. And so that Dade County football thing has always been competitive and a great thing. But Bridgewater, I go on IG last night, and I wasn't aware of it, but he's, been suspended apparently for listing all the things that he did for the program over the last year. Now it's hot out here. I'm back here on my patio. But so this is the key here, right? You're trying to make a difference in these young people's lives, right? Now, my best friend, PE teacher, physical education, full-time teacher and or coach at these different schools that he won championships at. I think he started out at Edison, Miami Edison, and he got by Coach Highsmith at the time, selected him or promoted him or recommended him to be the head coach. And so he's grown and became he's historical, right? 3 state championships at 3 different high schools in Dade County. So this is my background. Now, I'm not a coach, right? Now, I've done a little coaching here and there. I did a little flag some years ago in Miami at Coral Gables Youth Center. That was very rewarding, teaching young kids the proper way to play, and it was flag football. And so a lot of reasons why I never stayed in it is because I was into the social, political activism kind of thing. And with kids, you got to be consistent, right? They need to know that you're going to be there. And I mean, in a lot of situations, kids are single-parent households and or people come in and out of their lives, and it kind of disrupts. So I tried not to ever really do that. But I did coach those 2 years at the Youth Center in Coral Gables, where the University of Miami is in Coral Gables as well. My high school is Coral Gables High. We went to Ponce Middle School, which is right across US 1 from the UM, the U, right? And so that's that background on that. So here's the deal, right? I'm now here, and I taught world history for 2 years. I got an opportunity to get in the school system here in later years, heading toward my twilight. And something I always wanted to do, have summers off, right? Got the grandson up here. I did a video where I went to pick him up and bring him back for the summer. So he's inside, because it's hot out here, right? But mostly, you either got to be a teacher or a physical education certified teacher to coach. They do have volunteer coaches and or, as I mentioned, their stipends. They get stipends, right? And it's not a lot of money, right? It's for the love of the game and the love of the kids, right? So I taught world history for 2 years as a beginning teacher here, and eventually with the dynamics of education, things shift. I really, when we moved here, located about 10 years ago, I wanted to be an ISS instructor anyway, because I did a lot of volunteer work in Dade County schools, going to schools about drugs and positive role models, 5,000 role models of excellence, started by Dr. Frederica Dr. Frederica Wilson, which was a great program that promoted young men and getting getting them prepared to go on to the next level. All right. So now as an ISS instructor, and that's usually who some of these assistant coaches are ISS in school suspension coordinators, or they're straight volunteers that come back to help out. And if they do get paid, it's a small amount, right? So what I try to do every day in ISS is, and I have the videos, links throughout, where I'm trying to motivate students, going over the student code of conduct, all those different types of things. And my whole channel here is the value of integrity, right? Now, people like Teddy Bridgewater, it's the value of integrity, right? And that's what I like to try to promote, those type of positive reinforcements of people who are doing positive things. We all have ups and downs in life. We have good and bad things happen to us. Sometimes it's our own fault, and other times it's out of our control, right? So what I do is, when they're in ISS, I will play a video of Eric Thomas talking to a professional football team or a basketball team, or he's talking to University of North Carolina, the Wolfpack, right? Giving a motivational speech. I mentioned Frank Gore earlier. Frank Gore has played at the U, played at Coral Gables. I played his video in high school when he was saying, and he did a video talking about his learning disability and also overcoming his 2 knee injuries, going on to the University of Miami and having an illustrious career in the NFL. And he'll probably wind up in the Hall of Fame, right? Right from Coconut Grove. Amari Cooper. We've got several guys out of Coconut Grove that have done well and that have played in the NFL. Rodney Bellinger, Neil Cozy, which was our mentor back. First time he saw a Super Bowl ring was in probably 1976, somewhere therein. He came back, and he also, our senior year, was a like Bridgewater. He came back and was on the Miami Dolphins team for that season after he left Tampa. And there's a newspaper article where a lot of the guys that he was mentoring as far as defensive backs, because he was an All-American at Ohio State, went to the Oakland Raiders and got a Super Bowl ring and came back and contributed. This is what Teddy's doing. This is what Amari Cooper and a lot of athletes that come back sponsor programs throughout the country. These are all athletes that do the same thing. And so it's kind of disheartening to see a situation where they're caught up in a situation that's not really a scandal, right? They're doing the right thing for all the right reasons, and we've got this dilemma going on, and you want to suspend it. So again, it's going to be a great year because I'm going to be following this Teddy Bridgewater story. I'm going to be following Shedeur Sanders. I'm going to be following, of course, the Colorado bus, right? Now, again, with the bus, I make a connection everywhere I go, right? We had a guy that was on our team, Irish Smith, went to Colorado back in '78, I think. He went into Colorado. I don't think he stayed, but he went to the University of Colorado, right? So, also, what I like to do is, like I said, with Eric Thomas, he comes in, he's talking to athletes. I talk to our student athletes. They're in middle school because I was in high school, and I had a student his freshman year in high school, was in my world history class. He got an A. Great student, had a twin brother. He made all conference, right? The team wasn't doing too well, but he played quarterback, he played defensive back, he was playing some receiver, he was punt returning, and he did very well as a freshman. This is his senior year this year also. I'm going to try to get to one of his games. I have a vehicle passed down the street. I'm going to try to get one of his games because this is his senior year. This would be the class that I came in with when I began my beginning teacher process. And so he will graduate. He'll be a senior this year. So I'm going to try to get to one of his games because he's now at another school, not far from me at middle school, but this is his last year of high school. So that being said, to motivate these students and take part in them, encourage them, is what I've been about, not on the field, but because I respect athletes, understand what difficulties are. That's why I love Coach Prime so much, is because he's been doing this and not under a lot of accolades. He's been doing it for years, right, prior, right? So he's doing a great job. He's done a great job with his kids, right, all of them. And so these are the kind of people we promote. Now, when I was going into high school a couple years ago, I bought these books, all right? Eldridge James out of University of Miami, all right, and from gold teeth to gold jacket, right, Hall of Famer, right, and these are the kind of books I try to get these kids to read because they're interested in sports, but they need to read these books, right? This will help them over the summer, over whenever it is, get them acclimated to reading. Like I said with Frank Gore said he had a reading disability, and it shows his progress from high school all the way to college, all the way to professional level, and he'll probably wind up in the Hall of Fame, right? And then we have Myron Rolle, right? Another book that I picked up the same year I bought the book for Eldridge James, The 2% Way, right? And so in order to get these students to be more participant in school and classwork, you got to give them something that they enjoy and that they're interested in. And so the wind has picked up a little bit. The wind has picked up a little bit here, as you can see, and it turned over my camera. But we'll deal with that as we go along, okay? So, just when you thought you were having fun, right? And it's starting to rain a little bit. I feel drops coming down. But nonetheless, this is what happens, right? And so, also out of Coral Gables, I bought this book from ordered it. Craig Curry played at Coral Gables High School. He went to University of Minnesota, right? Because in the day, just like he was a quarterback, and they weren't recruiting a lot of quarterbacks here in Florida to play, have that lead role. Raising the Bar, the second edition. New requirements for college athlete scholarships, Craig Curry. So he's a Coral Gables alumni graduate as well. And so these are the stories that I follow. And I'm not a fan. I'm a fan, but I'm not a fanatic, right? And I follow teams. I have my special likes, like Jalen Hurts, right? And his character, the value of integrity. When at Alabama and going through his situation and then not leaving the team and staying on the team and coming back in to replace Tulia, who replaced him the prior season. And then I followed his career into the Philadelphia Eagles. So these are the things that, we should be promoting. Teddy Bridgewater is a guy, stand-up guy. I don't really know him personally. And matter of fact, I think the coach, my best friend, coached him at Northwestern, one of those state championships. So this is all I'm going to say about that for now, but I'm going to keep on the story, and everybody keep watching, see what's happening around football and athletics and students. And all that we're trying to do is uplift the whole community or uplift students, get them to be more proactive in their education and encourage them. And that's all Teddy was trying to do, give them the best opportunity. All right? Outside of my camera falling over and the wind blowing, I'm going to sign off, and I'll catch you guys later.